My husband is having a very serious surgery. He doesn't want to tell his mom. I'm worried and don't know what to do. My husband is having open heart surgery in 2 weeks. He doesn't want his mom and siblings to know when it's happening. Instead, he wants to let them know it's over when he's discharged from the hospital. They know it's coming but don't know it's scheduled. I want to respect his wishes. It's his surgery and his family. But I'm worried this could create hellacious drama and regret. His family has some dysfunction and nobody is particularly close. But things are functional enough that everyone gets together for Sunday dinner 2 to 3 times a year as well as the big holidays without drama. And we visited his mom when she was in the hospital last year as well as his dad when he was dying from cancer in 2020. So it's a pretty common family situation. My husband hasn't been diagnosed with autism but we both highly suspect he's on the spectrum. It describes a lot of his personality and life experiences. Anyway, this situation is very stressful for him. He doesn't like being touched. The procedures/tests he's had in preparation for the surgery have been overwhelming and overstimulating for him. Being out of his routine and in an unfamiliar environment puts him on edge. He knows he's going to be miserable and he doesn't want to deal with visitors. He wants to be left alone while he deals with this, except for me. I get it. But I don't think he's fairly considering the other side of things, including what it may mean for me. This is going to really hurt their feelings. And it isolates me/leaves me without help. We have a blind, elderly, dachshund that can be difficult. His older sister is the only person I trust to help me with the dog. I'm going to need someone to let her out to potty, etc., while I'm at the hospital during the height of all this. And, what if he dies? I have to call his mom and be like, hey, you know that surgery? He had it? And he died. Just thought you'd like to know. Imagine the heartbreak for his mom not getting to be there for him at the end, etc. Imagine her potential anger at me. What if she concludes I am to blame for his secrecy? My husband has 3 really good friends. But they all moved away over the last 5 years and they only get to play video games together remotely now. My friends have either vanished into the ether since learning about my husband's situation. WTF is with people who do that? I used to text them multiple times a day, every day. They haven't talked to me once since finding out, or they live too far away/have their own serious shit. My family is in another state. So it's really just his family that's available to help me/be there. I've tried to suggest that we tell his mom and siblings about the day of surgery and tell them he won't be taking visitors until he's out of the ICU and that I'll be available for updates. They can call until then and he may chat with them if he's feeling up to it. I suspect that once he's moved to GU he'll be open to a few visitors. On top of that he can be unlisted at the hospital so nobody can show up unexpectedly. That way they're not being left out and I can keep them informed but his privacy is being protected while he's dealing with the worst of it. And I'll have help with the dog, etc. But he hasn't been very receptive to my suggestion. I don't know what to do. Comment. I don't think he wants her there, so she wouldn't be there anyway. If things go wrong and he is dying you can contact them I guess. My mom ended up in the hospital after having a seizure. When I went and saw her she insisted I did not tell our family, meaning my grandmother specifically and my uncles. I felt so uneasy about it and called my uncle when I left, told him what was going on and made him promise they wouldn't go down and bug her at the hospital. It was probably already 9 p.m. Sure enough they all went down and made a big fuss and that was the beginning of them being involved in every single aspect from then on. Even though they were my family too I realized better that she knew these people beat and she was right. Trust your husband, don't call them unless you have to. Maybe ask him for some hypothetical scenarios where he's okay with you calling. Regarding your friends, I'm sorry that is happening, but is it possible they're trying not to bother you? They might be thinking, oh, she has tons on her plate and not wanting to just have some frivolous convo in the group chat while you're going through this. Though I'd expect them to at least be asking how you are if they're decent people. Maybe try being direct. Hey, things are shitty and I really need to figure out how to get some help with my dog. Can you guys help me brainstorm? And see what happens. Your husband is facing possible death and you need to support him. He has the best chance of survival if he has a clear mind and isn't stressing about his narcissistic parents. Respect his wishes, he is being very wise right now. It's a difficult situation you're in, and it's clear that you're trying to navigate this with a lot of care and consideration for everyone involved. Your husband's desire for privacy and comfort during his surgery is completely understandable, especially given the stress and overstimulation he's already experiencing. It's important to respect his wishes as much as possible, as this is his health and his surgery. There are more people like your husband in such situations and they consider this requirement to be normal. However, your concerns are also valid. The potential for family drama, the need for support, and the very real worry about the worst-case scenario are all factors that need to be weighed. Communicating with your husband about your needs and the practical aspects of support during his recovery is crucial. It's reasonable to express to him that while you respect his wishes, You also have needs that must be met to ensure his care and your well-being during this time. It's not just about his comfort but also about ensuring that you are not left to handle everything alone. You could suggest a compromise where you have the right to inform his family if the situation becomes dire or if you need support. Documenting his wishes, as you mentioned, is a wise step. This could be done through a written statement or by having a conversation with a neutral third party present, such as a counselor or a trusted friend, who can later confirm his wishes if needed. It's also a good idea to involve his close friends, even if they are far away. They can offer emotional support and may even be able to help coordinate things from a distance or come to visit if the situation allows. They can also be made aware of your husband's requirements. Ultimately, it's about finding a balance between his need for privacy and your need for support. It's a tough conversation, but it's one that needs to happen with empathy and openness from both sides. Wishing you both the best during this challenging time. I had to have a fairly serious surgery during COVID and didn't tell my mother because I knew the worry and distress that it would cause her. They live 5 hours drive away. She was upset afterwards when I told her, but she understood as she couldn't have been there and knew she would have just worried. I can understand you partner not wanting to cause extra worry to his family, as hard as it is for you. Story 2. I think my ex is lying about being pregnant by me. My ex and I were together for a year and some change. The relationship didn't work out, unfortunately. Let's say, we didn't get to know each other before getting into the relationship, and well, it wasn't exactly peaches and cream. Good sex, bad relationship as most would call it. Anyway, this past Saturday, I received a text "baby OTW" from a texting app number I recognized. Now, this ex of mine has claimed to be pregnant by me about 6 times now, including this time. The first time, we were going through a bump in the road and she sent me a positive test. When I confronted her on this in person, she laughed and told me it was a joke. The other 4 times were her just claiming it whenever I was ready to leave the relationship alone, but no test pics. This time, 6, she sent a text pic of a positive test. This girl is on birth control. I don't know the science of it, but I'm sure it's pretty effective, because she hasn't been pregnant once with me. Now that we're officially done, she is claiming up and down it's a real test. She showed me a video of vomit all over her apartment from being pregnant, but it's very well known to me she has a weak stomach and a poor diet, so her vomiting was not uncommon at all with her when we were together. Her period is supposedly late by a week, which she showed me, but then again, her period has been late by up to 3 weeks, and during that time we did multiple pregnancy tests to see what's going on, and guess what? Nothing. I have asked her to go to the hospital so we can get official tests ran, and she basically beats around the bush about the idea. I don't understand, because eventually she will have to take a test at the hospital if she's telling the truth, so why not go do it now if you have something to prove to me? I'm just not buying it, and I believe she's not trying to let go of the sex life we had, because that's all it basically was at the end of the relationship. None of this makes sense to me, and again, I'm not trying to downplay the situation, it's just I've been through this 6 times now and it's kinda hard to believe a habitual liar who doesn't want to take the proper test. My belief is that if she goes to the hospital she's going to get caught in her lie, and that's not what she wants. She has swore on her brother's life and her dead best friend's life that she's telling the truth, and it would be ashamed if she did all of that just to lie. I just want to know what's up so that I can move accordingly. If I sound like in a hole, I'm sorry. This is just stressful, and I'd really like to get down to the bottom of this with her, so I know whether she's telling the truth or not. Story 3. I found out that my boyfriend has been cockfishing women. He acts like it's nothing. We've been dating for a year and a half now and live together. I've never been through his phone or devices, although he has full access to mine, as well as my location, and he hid an AirTag in my car without telling me since he is constantly concerned that I am talking to someone. Okay, fine. A month ago I saw him on his phone scrolling through a bunch of women and it made me concerned. I brought this up to him the first time and he said it was porn. I said show me the site, but he said it was just Google, even though they're their names, ages, and the ability to heart profiles. I asked to look at his phone, but he said no because he was embarrassed and that I had nothing to worry about. I just wanted to believe him, but it nagged at me that he wouldn't show me that I had nothing to worry about. I didn't want to find out one day he'd been sleeping around. So when I had the opportunity, I looked through his texts on his computer and found several chats where he had sent a photo of some other dude's penis to women, and he had been hitting them up over the course of 2 months, although it seems like they didn't respond or he deleted the other texts. When I confronted him about it, he said it was embarrassing to talk about, but it was something he was ashamed of and had it done while single, but also several times through our relationship. He told me I had nothing to worry about, but still would not let me go through his phone even though he is able to go through mine. I don't like that he lied about and had been hiding that he was hitting up women, but he acts like it's no big deal and says it doesn't count since there's no emotional connection. I feel paranoid that he's still doing it though, and even if it's not his photos, it's gross that he's cockfishing women. I don't know how to feel. How you react if you found your boyfriend of over a year that you live with has been cockfishing women online recently. Comment: Girl, are you kidding? Please break up with this man. Let's make sure we got this all correct. He secretly hid an AirTag in your car because he doesn't trust you. Openly browse dating apps or porn, depending on what's the truth, in front of you. He is sending dick pics to women. Who are these women? How is he meeting them and getting their numbers? He admitted to doing this during your relationship. You can't go through his phone even though he can go through yours. Does this sound like someone who loves and respects you? Someone that is emotionally mature and available? Someone that is attracted to you? Does this sound like someone you want to continue to spend time with? Someone who is out there doing God knows what? You can believe there's more he's doing that you haven't seen. These are just the things you know about. First red flag was him putting in trackers because he thinks you are cheating. Second red flag was him lying about looking at porn and then refusing to show you even though he has access to your phone. Third red flag was you going through his phone/computer because you knew he was lying. Fourth red flag was him gaslighting you when confronted. Fifth red flag is you allowing him to disrespect you and you still staying. If you don't heed the glaringly obvious red flags, then you are just as bad as he is. Start respecting yourself because he doesn't. Babe, don't be like me. I ignored all of the very obvious signs in my last relationship too, and it just worse from there. Save yourself the trouble and GTFO. It will be hard and it will hurt, but trust me, I am so much happier now that I left.